The Zynthian Imperium had conquered 47 star systems before they encountered Earth. Their military doctrine was perfection itself, overwhelming force, orbital bombardment, and the systematic elimination of resistance. When their fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, they expected humanity's surrender within 72 hours. Commander Desiree Chen stood on the bridge of the UHNS Defiant, Earth's flagship, watching the alien armada materialize like a swarm of metallic locusts. 200 capital ships, each larger than anything humanity had ever constructed. The communications officer turned to her, face pale. "Ma'am, they're broadcasting on all frequencies. It's a declaration of war." Desiree listened to the synthesized voice explaining humanity's options. Submit or be eradicated. Simple, clean, the Zynthian way. She smiled, though there was no warmth in it. "Send a response. Tell them we'll need 24 hours to consider their terms." "Ma'am?" The young officer looked confused. "Just do it." What the Zynthians didn't understand, what no alien species they'd encountered had taught them, was that humanity didn't fight wars the way they did. Humans had spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing each other. They had written books about it, studied it in universities, turned warfare into philosophy and philosophy into doctrine. 23 hours later, James Rodriguez sat in the cockpit of his fighter, call sign Reaper 6, aboard the carrier Midway. Around him, 300 other pilots performed their pre-flight checks in practiced silence. They drilled for this scenario 1,000 times, though most had believed it would never come. "All pilots, this is actual." Desiree's voice crackled through the comm system. "The Zynthians fight like they're playing chess, methodical, predictable, overwhelming. But we're not going to play their game. We're going to show them what asymmetric warfare looks like." James grinned inside his helmet. He'd studied the old wars, Vietnam, Afghanistan, the guerrilla campaigns that had humbled empires. The brass had learned those lessons well. The Zynthian fleet advanced in perfect formation, as they always did. Their shields overlapped, their firing solutions calculated for maximum efficiency. They moved like a single organism, beautiful in its precision. That's when humanity struck. The attack came from everywhere and nowhere. Small craft, too small for the Zynthians' weapons to track efficiently, swarmed from hidden positions throughout the asteroid belt. They didn't attack head-on. Instead, they used the debris field itself as cover, appearing and disappearing, never staying in one place long enough to be targeted. James dove through a gap in the alien formation, his fighter's signature masked by a passing asteroid. He fired a spread of missiles, not at the ships themselves but at their sensor arrays. Blind spots opened. Other pilots exploited them immediately. "They're trying to regroup," someone called over the comm. "Let them," Desiree responded from the Defiant. Fire Package Omega. Hidden throughout the solar system, humanity had seeded thousands of autonomous drones, cheap, disposable, each carrying a single high-yield warhead. They activated now, converging on the Zynthian fleet from every direction. The aliens' point defense systems lit up space with energy fire, destroying 90% of the incoming threats. But 10% of thousands was still hundreds. Explosions rippled through the alien formation. Not enough to destroy ships, but enough to damage shields, disable weapons, create chaos. The perfect formation fractured. "Phase 2, Desiree commanded. The real capital ships emerged from behind Luna, not to engage directly but to launch spread-fire kinetic bombardments. Millions of depleted uranium rounds, each the size of a fist, traveling at relativistic speeds. The Zynthians' shields, designed to stop energy weapons and large projectiles, suddenly faced a sandstorm of hypervelocity metal. James watched through his canopy as alien shields flickered and died under the onslaught. "Beautiful," he whispered. But the Zynthians were not helpless. They adapted quickly, their central command ship coordinating a counterattack. Beams of coherent energy lanced through space, vaporizing human fighters and drones by the dozens. "All units execute scatter pattern Delta," Desiree ordered. "Make them chase ghosts." The human fleet dispersed, every ship following pre-programmed vectors that would keep them moving, unpredictable, impossible to pin down. The Zynthians, trained for set-piece battles, found themselves fighting shadows. In the command ship of the Zynthian fleet, War Master Threnix experienced something his species had not felt in 300 cycles: confusion. The humans weren't fighting to win. They were fighting to survive, to bleed the Imperium, to make every meter of space cost more than it was worth. Analysis, he demanded of his tactical officer. They are learning, War Master. Their tactics evolve in real time. Each attack pattern is different from the last. Threnix's mandibles clicked in frustration. This was not how warfare worked. There were rules, protocols, established methods of victory. James's fighter took a glancing hit, alarm screaming in his cockpit. He wrestled the controls, keeping his bird in the fight. Reaper 6 to actual, I'm hit but mobile. Still have ordnance. Copy 6, target the command ship. All remaining units converge on these coordinates. What followed was not a coordinated assault but controlled chaos. Human ships attacked from every angle. Never in formation, never predictable. They used debris as improvised weapons, ramming disabled alien craft into active ones. They broadcast false signals, hacked alien communications, sowed confusion and doubt. The Xinthians had expected a battle. What they got was a brawl. 12 hours into the engagement, War Master Threnix made a decision that no Xinthian commander had made in living memory. He ordered a retreat. On the Defiance Bridge, Desiree watched the alien fleet withdraw, leaving behind 37 destroyed vessels and twice that many damaged. Humanity had lost more ships numerically, but the cost-benefit ratio was undeniable. Should we pursue? Her XO asked. No, let them go. Let them report back what they saw here. James limped his damaged fighter back to the midway, exhausted but alive. As he climbed out of the cockpit, his crew chief grinned at him. Sir, did we just win? James thought about the Xinthian Imperium, about their 47 conquered systems, about their doctrine of overwhelming force meeting humanity's 10,000 years of brutal, innovative, relentless warfare. We taught them a lesson, he said. We showed them that humans don't fight fair. We fight to win. Across the galaxy, the Xinthian Imperium would eventually learn what 47 other species had not survived long enough to understand. Humanity had not become the dominant species on a death world by following rules. They had climbed to the top of their food chain through cunning, adaptation, and an almost pathological refusal to quit. The Imperium had declared war expecting a chess match. Humanity had responded with a masterclass in warfare, brutal, creative, and utterly human. And in the black between the stars, other species watching the conflict came to a quiet, unanimous conclusion. Perhaps humanity should be left alone.